Yes, let's talk about hockey, the show that journeys through the history of the sport of ice hockey from its disputed origins to the game we see today. Back on January 18, 1958, 22-year-old right-winger Willie O'Ree was called up from the Quebec Aces of the American Hockey League to the NHL's Boston Bruins to replace an injured player for their game against the Montreal Canadiens. And in that night, O'Ree went straight into the history books as the first black player in the history of the NHL. But before O'Ree, there was another hockey star by the name of Herb Carnegie that not only nearly beat O'Ree to the punch some 10 years earlier, but also centered the first all-black line in pro or semi-pro hockey, the Black Aces. Back around 1941, after Carnegie joined the Buffalo Anchorite Club in a mining town league that took him through northern Ontario and Quebec, he was teamed up with his older brother Ossie Carnegie on his right wing and Fredericton, New Brunswick native Manny McIntyre on his left wing. For the next 8 seasons, this unique line would not only thrive, but also dazzle crowds gathering to watch games for 2 of the fastest hockey leagues in North America, the Provincial League in Quebec and the Quebec Senior Hockey League. Transcending the novelty of being an all-black line, their individual and combined hockey talents never failed to excite the fans and garner ovations from home crowds around the circuit. The perfect harmony that these 3 performed together with was best demonstrated in the 1945-46 Quebec Provincial League season while playing for the Sherbrooke Saints. During the 40-game season, they were held scoreless on only 4 occasions and racked up 84 goals and 98 assists for an average of 2.1 goals and 4.6 points per game. In fact, their 84 goals made up 44% of the team's 189 goal total that year. Not only were they the best line in the league, but Herb Carnegie was also named League MVP that year, a feat he would repeat in 1947 and 1948. As a result, every team they encountered played its best checking line against them. The opposition's game plan was to always bottle up the Aces and hope everything else would fall into place. This method would only work briefly, before the Aces would adjust their tactics, and more often than not, the Sherbrooke squad went on to win the game. The team would go on to capture the 1946 league title with a 24-12-4 record, in which 15 of those wins saw the Aces line equal or exceed the opposition's goal total. Following the 1947-48 season, the Quebec Provincial League would fold, and the Black Aces, along with the rest of the Sherbrooke St. Francis club they now played on, joined the Quebec Senior Hockey League that had been around since 1941. Around this time, Herb was also invited to the 1948 training camp for the NHL's New York Rangers. However, though he survived cut after cut, in the end the Rangers only offered him a minor league contract with their New Haven club. Being 29 years old, Herb knew that if he didn't make it into the NHL immediately, he wouldn't get another shot. Additionally, the minor league contract would have been for less money than he was already making in Quebec. So Herb decided to return to Quebec for the 1948-49 QSHL season. This first season in the QSHL would also be the last for this famed line, as Ossie and Manny accepted deals to play for the Racing Hockey Club in Paris for the 1949-1950 season. Herb, though, would continue to shine on the Quebec Aces club in the QSHL for another 4 seasons, where he would tally another 77 goals and 198 points in 224 games, and play alongside future Montreal Canadiens legend Jean Beliveau. Though few records remain from the now-defunct league, there are still some who recall how the Black Aces line dominated some of the best hockey leagues on the continent for nearly a decade.